All right, welcome to the Traveling Milk Podcast. I'm Jameson.
I'm Alex.
I'm Rosie.
Welcome back after a week of being absent because we had no internet.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. But we finishing the video for our Kickstarter.
Yep. So at least we've been able to do that while we've been podcastless for the past week.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, well, a lot happened this past couple weeks, so we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Like, it was yesterday, right, that Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away?
Yeah.
That was shocking. Truly. And heroin, I would have never guessed. I really was like, when I found out via Facebook, because of course, my mouth, dropped, or my jaw dropped. I was speechless for a while. He was such a talent. It's quite a shame.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he did a bunch of drugs and drinking when he went to NYU, and he checked himself into rehab to get off heroin. And I don't remember how many years ago, but got back into it and went back to rehab. So he had been struggling with his addiction to heroin for a long time, which makes it really sad. Jared Padalecki made a post on Twitter how he was like, I don't know if I'd use the word sad. I would use shameful that someone would throw their life away to heroin, which I think is the most disrespectful thing you could ever say, because he had been struggling with it for a long time.
That's the Supernatural actor, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one that hates on Justin Bieber?
Yeah, I'd been liking him so much recently, but then he makes that post on Twitter, and I was like, oh, and all my respect for you is gone.
He's like a celebrity that hates other celebrities.
Which is fine, but it's like, I don't know, it's not just celebrities. I mean, obviously most of the responses are like, this is a tragedy, this is super unfortunate, but then there are inevitably always those people who go, oh, well, he had it coming for being addicted to heroin. Like, I know people who are like, I have zero sympathy for addicts. And it just makes me think, well, I have sympathy for anybody. Like, it doesn't matter if they do it to themselves or they're addicted and they have to do it, or their mind feels like they have to do it. People who aren't addicts don't understand what it's like to be an addict.
Yeah.
So just saying that you don't pity someone for having a serious addiction, I mean, like, the guy died. His intention is not to die from doing heroin. Unless, of course, it was a suicide, but I'm assuming it wasn't at this point. And it's like, the dude doesn't want to die. And reports said that he had a pretty good life and he was having what appeared to be a good day on that day.
And I just feel so bad for the children. He has a daughter. I think that's what makes me the most sad, is when something like that affects his family. Like with Heath Ledger.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing about Hoffman that Heath Ledger didn't really have was time to shine. I mean, he lived, I think he was 46.
43?
No, Philip Seymour Hoffman was 46.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had more time to shine than, and I think he went in a similar direction to where Ledger would have gone. But it's just like, every role he was in, like Doubt, Charlie Wilson's War, The Master, like everything was so good.
Yeah, he was literally a genius. I can't remember what Joaquin Phoenix said verbatim, but I read a quote about Joaquin Phoenix speaking about what it's like to just listen to Philip Seymour Hoffman talk. And that is a fantastic quote. You should look it up, because we lost a genius.
Yeah. Yeah, he was really great.
He just jumped straight into the deep end.
Yeah, we did. We're going to lose a lot of viewership going for the dark, risque approach.
Well, you know what?
No, I don't know what. Can you
Good enough for me.
Can you fucking tell me? Jesus.
He's dead, you guys. He's dead.
Yes, and in all honesty, aside from laughing, I can safely speak for all of us when I say that his work and his humanity will be very much missed.
Yes. But luckily, yesterday wasn't all bad. We had the Super Bowl yesterday.
Oh, that was... Well, it depends on what team you're rooting for.
Yeah.
It might have been a really bad day for the people of Colorado.
I wish I had placed money on the Seahawks. I just knew they were going to win. I knew it. Mm-hmm. I should have put money on them, but I didn't. It was a foolish mistake. I would be a rich man today.
I don't know if the odds were that much against them.
Yeah, but I would have put my life savings on them because I knew they were going to win.
All $5 of it.
Yep, all
Right.
the $5 I have.
Well, I used the opportunity to actually drink because of what we were just talking about with
Yeah,
Philip Seymour Hoffman. I used the Super Bowl as a reason to go out and get drunk.
that's awful.
And then the game itself was a piece of shit. Most of the commercials were shit.
But did you see the commercial about the Native Americans? Which is one of the best commercials I've ever
No,
seen.
I actually didn't.
The commercial was basically just listing a bunch of like different tribes, famous Native Americans, and at the end of it, they're like, these are all of the things, and it's like professions that they hold, like soldier, doctor, teacher, and at the end they said these are all things that Native Americans call themselves, but one thing they do not call themselves, and then it showed a picture of the Redskins football helmet.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah. And then a link to their website, changethemascot.org.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, slammed.
Effective advertising.
Burn.
Slammed.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Good.
I mean, it's true if you think about really how fucking racist the name Redskins is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that little racist cartoon they have.
Yeah, and their mascot is a Native American. Like, seriously? Like, I wouldn't make a team called, like, the Darkskins and just have a, like, comedic-looking, like, blackface guy running around.
Exactly.
That'd be awful.
Well, and also, what I don't think most people understand, and this is, why people speak out against people saying Indian all the time. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. People speak out against other people who say the word Indian all the time. People are like, oh, what's the big deal? The reason that people called them Indians is because they thought they discovered India when they discovered these people. And yet we still have not stopped calling them fucking Indians.
Yeah, I know. White people are so fucking bad at everything that we found out they weren't Indians. Who is this? I think Louis C.K. said this, that we found out after like a couple days that they weren't Indians, and we just decided to call them Indians anyway. Like,
Because, why not?
yeah, I think literally what he said was, you guys are Indians, right? And, no, we're not Indians. You're Indians. And we can't we still call them Indians.
Yeah, some people do. There's a lot, there's a nice little movement going on where people are really trying to spread awareness about actually calling them Native Americans. But I think that, and I'm going to tie this into something later, I think white people are really offended by the idea that red-skinned people are the real natives of this country.
Oh, they totally are. They're, like, legitimately. People get so mad about, especially over this past day since that Super Bowl ad. People have
That's exactly what I was going to say.
they've literally been like tearing white people apart, saying like, oh, white people will be ready to call immigrants. They'll be like, oh, immigrants need to get out of here. But when you ask like what nationality they are, they have no reserve about just bringing up every percentage of where they're from, and it's not America.
Nope.
Oh, I'm 1/6 Irish, 1/8 English, and
Because it's pretty much impossible to be American unless you're fucking Native American.
yeah.
And then, of course, white people don't help their own cause because you go on Twitter after that ad where they sang America the Beautiful yesterday during the Super Bowl, and you see people saying, like, how dare they sing the song of my country in a different, in an immigrant language or a terrorist language.
What?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, if you're listening to this and you're white, especially, and I'm not saying you are racist if you're listening to this, but if you're listening to this, think about what kind of people formed this country. I'll give you a couple minutes to think about that and do some research. Let me give you a hint. It wasn't just fucking white people.
Yeah, it's... You know, if the Persians had won the war against Greece, slavery would probably have never been a problem past then, because in the Persian Empire, they allowed freedom of religion, and it was illegal to own slaves. But since Greece won, slavery prevailed. But if Persia had won, which when you look back, you watch like 300, Persia is depicted as evil. They were actually, I wish they had won.
Well, they were still attacking a foreign nation.
Yeah, but if like legitimately, if they had walked around and could just conquer people without killing them, they would have done it, and there would have been freedom of the religion and no slavery. Literally, we would be where this country is supposed to be right now.
Freedom of religion?
Yeah, there's supposed to be freedom of religion.
Yeah, there's supposed to be. It's interesting to think that the Roman Empire was kind of like a mishmash of that, because the Roman Empire had freedom of religion. They allowed all barbarians to worship their own gods, but they had slaves.
Well, there was also the point where Christianity they were thrown into Colosseums, and it turned over very quickly. I believe the historical background is that they persecuted Christians and had them like just get killed to lions. Like they just feed them to lions. But eventually they allowed freedom of religion.
Nice.
But yeah, they were pretty fucked up for a while.
How was your day, Rosie?
Oh, I'm tired.
Didn't you have an audition recently?
I did.
You care to disclose how that went?
Well, I don't even know if I can talk about it yet. It was for a talk show that would be on YouTube. And it was an interesting experience because it's supposed to blend the idea of how women look on YouTube. Like, there's really only two types of women on YouTube. And the guy whose idea this is, he works for YouTube. So when he disclosed this to me, I feel like, he knows this shit. There's two types of women. There's the ones that are used as props. That's the sexy ones that are on like all the cosmetic channels or sports channels or some sort of like product channel.
And they just have like low-hanging shirts.
Yeah, and they're just used as a prop for attention. If they're in some sort of comedy series, they are just used as boobs. But then there's also the other side of the spectrum where there's the woman who talks at her camera about nature and art and politics, and she gets way less views than boobs. So, trying to blend the idea of that Smart can be sexy, and he wants to start a talk show where all these blonde women, the casting call was to be blonde, but to prove your intelligence, that you are an intellectual, that you actually break the mold of what YouTube's idea is to be sexy.
And what society says is sexy.
Yeah. Well, but when I went to the audition, I encountered a lot of
Tits McGee's.
Oh, it's just, how do you call yourself a blonde when that clearly came out of a bleach bottle?
Ugh.
It's like,
I believe you said to me peroxide.
yeah, peroxide everywhere. And it's just, I feel so bad for these women because the whole casting call was like, oh yeah, prove that we're not dumb blondes, no more blonde bimbos, hashtag blonde ambition. And this one girl was like, she didn't show up with a headshot, and she showed up with a suitcase. And I was like, what? Who are you? Another girl didn't know that we could park in the parking lot and parked at a meter, and came in and was like, did you guys know that there was a parking lot? I'm like, yeah, it's in front of the building. Oh my goodness. So, I don't know. It was a little bit disheartening, but at the same time, I mean, I felt like I had a leg up.
There you go.
Personally. To sound really egotistical.
The first thing that I thought of when you were telling me about how your audition went that day, and maybe this is just subjective to my personal experiences in LA, and then like from what I'm grokking for what you did with your audition, they always talk about how like competitive this industry is, and like, you know, there are a lot of talented people out there, especially, you know, trying to be writers or actors or directors and stuff. One thing you have to realize too is that there are a lot of fucking dumb people who have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Who show no class, who let their egos carry them forward. It's just like, it's really mind-blowing. Like, because I don't consider myself, and I don't consider any of us to be egotistical artists. But then you go out and you see the people who are, and it kind of changes. It changed my perspective coming to LA.
No, I mean, as an artist, one of my absolute favorite things to do is to talk about other people's accomplishments. Mm-hmm. Every single time I've talked about Trapped, I usually mention you. I say, oh yeah, I was in this movie called Trapped, written and directed by Chris Jones, who now I have to start saying Jameson Jones.
Right.
But I just don't understand how people think they can get anywhere in this industry without wanting to help out other people.
Well, that was what I always talked about with directing, and I know that I disclosed to you two more than with anybody else, but it's like, some people just show zero class for the people who do involve them in projects. Like, it's all about them, or they're the one who made the project. And it's a really weird industry, and it's what's funny is that it's one of few industries that is actually run by egos and greed.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, can you imagine a plumbing business where the guy's like, yeah, I scoop shit.
I'm the only shit scooper in this county. You can't go to any other shit scooper than me. Like, yeah, that wouldn't
I believe
work.
that exists.
Maybe.
Competitive shit scooping.
Well, I read up on my plumbing monthly, and Mario Ben Squeezy is doing quite well this year.
Oh, yeah, because Joe the plumber retired, so all
Yeah.
that.
You know that I named him Mario?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's something else that happened this week, was the State of the Union happened.
Oh, I still haven't watched that, and I feel really awful as an American.
I haven't watched it either.
Yep. I read a really fun Onion article that was like fact-checking the State of the Union.
Oh, no.
Yeah, everyone should look that up because it's really funny.
Their political columns are probably some of the funniest stuff I've ever read.
Every once in a while, they go a little too far. They called that one young actress. What was she in recently?
Beast of the Southern Wild.
Yeah, they called her a cunt.
Yeah.
Which is just totally, that's way too far. She's like 8 years old or something.
She's 9.
She's
yeah.
9. That's way over the line.
Yeah, I remember that. That upset me. Like, that's not funny. That's tasteless.
Yeah.
I was in the minority that did find that funny.
Well, I guess...
And, you know, you can't hold that against me for finding it funny.
I just think I think if you did that to an older actor, I just think she's way too young for like a satire article to just come out and say she's a cunt. I think that's way too abrasive, and that's really fucked up.
I think the only reason they did that is because they didn't think that she would read it. Which I don't believe she ever did.
It's not even that.
That's the only reason that I thought it was funny.
It's not even that. It just, I honestly believe, like, that's just, she's too young. Like, that's not okay in any facet.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it was right. All I'm saying is I allotted myself a chuckle.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I would have laughed if they had done it about anyone who was older. Like, if they just were like, oh, Meryl Streep's a cunt. I'd laugh. Like, obviously she's not a cunt. So I laugh. But a little girl is just like...
I don't know, they've still made some of my favorite videos. Like the Obama okaying the dragon tank.
Oh, absolutely. I love The Onion. And my favorite thing to do is I post Onion articles on Facebook and watch how many people think it's a real article.
Oh my God.
I've seen that.
I've been tricked before.
I recently reposted one about Obama okaying like thinking about using the military on Congress to get them to do things.
I remember that.
Yeah, I reposted that from my father, and then my cousin was like, you know this is from The Onion, right? Like, I don't want you to make people think this is a real article. I was just like, no, shh. I know.
Speaking of which, is your father still listening to our podcast?
Probably.
Hello, Mr. Souther. If you're listening.
He'll probably call me and be like, oh, I noticed you mentioned my name. He did that last time.
That's the podcasting rule, is that we have to mention your dad every time we record a podcast.
Yeah, from now on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He gets mad at you for calling a 9-year-old girl a cunt.
Hey, The Onion did that.
No, I was quoting The Onion. It's alright.
No, wait, what? Is that what we were talking about?
Your dad just shows up at my front door and punches me for saying I thought the article was funny. In Rosie's dream world.
That'd be great.
Speaking of my parents, for Christmas they got me a subscription to Birchbox. Yeah, I see that transition I did right there.
How much is that per month?
I don't know.
What is that?
So they have it for men and women. Obviously, I got the men version because I'm a man. But they send you like grooming and fashion products. Less fashion, more grooming. It's actually cheaper for women to sign up per month. They send you like smaller like sample sizes of everything. So you can try like a bunch of different products, and you fill out a survey, and they cater each box you get per month to like what you need. Like, oh, I have like occasional problems with acne, so they send you like face wash that's good for getting rid of acne and stuff like
cool.
that. Yeah, so it's like personalized grooming products. And like this month was the first month I got actually personalized, because the first month I got, they just sent me their generic January, because I hadn't filled out the survey yet, because they got it for me for Christmas. But this month I got like a soap and some like hair gel, and I got this delicious smell this cologne.
Whoa.
What do you mean? Ugh.
No, it was strong in my nose.
English Laundry is the flavor. Here you go. Yeah, it smells delicious.
No, it smells good.
I was considering actually subscribing to them, but then I realized that their subscriptions, I think, cost at least as much as our Adobe cloud.
For men, I think it's like $25 a month.
Yeah, but I only paid that, so...
But hey, at least they've got Alex to start using soap.
Yeah, hey.
Korea has been looking a lot better.
But last month I got gloves that you can use with like electronic devices. Like the fingertips have complete electrical circuits.
Holy shit.
That's futuristic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my leather gloves that I use for driving do that because they're leather, so they're conductive.
Oh.
But this month I got magnetic collar stays, so I could put those in my collars so they look I look sharp all day. Yeah.
And one of our new projects at Traveling Milk Productions is going to be Science Day with Alex Southard, where Alex will take you around and teach you scientific experiments in the vein of Mr. White.
Like how magnets, how the fuck do they work?
I can't explain that. No one knows how magnets work. Literally, people don't understand magnetism. It just doesn't make any sense.
Because it's magic. That's proof that there's a God.
Yeah, yes. Magic equals God.
You know, I did my 4th grade science fair project on magnets. I got a 2nd place ribbon, you guys.
And the teacher wrote inconclusive.
When I,
she just wrote fucking magnets.
Oh, good.
When I was in 5th grade, when we did our science fair, this one girl had a blind... it was a science fair, yeah. So she wanted to get, like, data to see if people could tell the difference between, like, Coke and Sprite, or Coke and Pepsi, and Sprite and 7-Up. And no one in our class could tell the difference, except for me. She had, like, 6 different sodas, and I got every single one of them correct. And she was just like, what the... You're a wizard.
Luckily for Alex, he had done Coke for a very long time in that grade. So
yeah, 5th grade, I was a hardcore...
blowing lines off the toilet bowl at lunchtime.
Yeah, I'd cut the lines with my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Which we talked about last time. We should veer away from that dynamic topic.
So last time I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, my Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh my god. Shh.
What?
We're not getting back on the topic of Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, we're not. I'm just gonna completely change course here because we have no good transition. When are the Oscars? When did those happen?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Oh my god, we're such bad film people.
I've never known the date of the Oscars, but I'm excited.
It's at the end of February.
I can look it up on my
It's
space
always
phone.
at the end of February.
Oh, I never got to mention one last thing about the Super Bowl while you're looking that up. J.C. Penney made some awesome tweets during the Super Bowl.
Did they?
Yeah.
The first one was, "Whom knew this was going to be a ball gamble?" And the second one was, "Tough down Sea Docs. Is Seattle going to run away with this?" And because, the internet picks up on this stuff, it immediately blew up that the person writing J.C. Penney's tweets was, like, crazy drunk.
Super inebriated.
So every big company started making fun of them, and Coors made a joke that, we know that the Super Bowl and Coors Light go well together, but tweet responsibly.
Oscars are on March 2nd, 2014.
End of February.
We will be in Marin shooting Watch.
Wait, what day?
March 2nd.
Oh, yes, we will.
So we'll probably be able to watch that at my parents' house.
Cool, that'd be nice.
Wow.
Oh, ooh, TV.
Whoa. Can't afford that here.
I've watched the majority of the Best Picture nominated movies. I think last year I didn't even get close to watching all of them. Like, I didn't watch... Was last year Lincoln...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zero Dark 30 nominated?
Yeah.
It was.
Never watched that. But this year...
Life of Pi.
Life of Pi, didn't watch that.
Beast of the Southern Wild.
Didn't watch that.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
But this year I think Captain Phillips might be the only one I haven't seen. Maybe. Don't take my word for that. I just recently watched Dallas Buyers Club.
So what would be your pick?
12
for
Years a
Best
Slave.
Picture? Cool.
I thought Gravity was going to win, and it still might. I still think it has a very good chance of winning. I really don't want it to win over 12 Years a Slave. That is, if I got to pick, I would pick 12 Years a Slave, hands down. Like, not even a question. I cried so much at the end of that movie.
I mean, how could you not? Such a... I don't want to spoil it, because I was going to talk about the end, but it's...
Yeah, don't spoil it.
It's heart-wrenching.
What would your picks for Best Picture be?
Me?
Rosie? Yeah.
I mean...
No, me again.
I would have to, yeah, right? Why did I say that? What's your pick for Best Picture, Rosie? What, me? I'm conflicted because I liked so many of the movies that came, and there were a few that I didn't get to see. Like, I really love Her, but is it Best Picture? I don't know. I would pick it for, like, Best Production Design, if that's even a... okay, good. I would pick that. I was gonna say Gravity as well, but I think I'm gonna have to go with 12 Years a Slave. I think I'm gonna have to conform that was the most investing movie of the year. So I'm gonna have to go with that.
And Jameson. What would your pick be? I think I know.
Well, if it was going to be my pick, personally, I would pick The Place Beyond the Pines to win Best Picture. But that's if it was Jameson's Oscars, which it's not. That was actually my favorite movie of the year.
Which, like the Oscars, I forgot that movie came out this year.
Yep. But if I have to go based off of what has been nominated, I would say 12 Years a Slave.
I would pick 12 Years a Slave over Place Beyond the Pines, even though I think Place Beyond the Pines is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It just connected with me as a son and as a potential father.
Are you a son?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
I know.
Potential father.
You're a moon.
I
don't know. It's just the way that they constructed that movie and the parallels that they drew. It was such an epic yet interesting movie.
And
however, it's as far as emotional investment, 12 Years a Slave, but I'm talking about my personal favorite movie of the year, which was The Place Beyond the Pines.
what I really liked about the movie is that I actually didn't know what was going to happen in the movie based on the trailer. I thought, I'm not, okay, this came out fucking a year ago, so I'm, spoilers up ahead. I thought Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper were going to be in it at the same time, and they weren't. There was like 5 minutes where they were in it at the same time.
I liked that because
Yeah.
I also thought they were going to be like the two main characters, or like always one chasing the other, but this wasn't the case. It was just two different stories.
I thought it was going to be like LA Confidential, switching back and forth between them, but no, it was just Ryan Gosling and then Bradley Cooper, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
I think that's brilliant storytelling.
And unfortunately, that was a lot of basis for its criticism. Was people criticized the fact that, oh, when Ryan Gosling dies, spoiler alert.
You're supposed to say that before you say
Well,
the
he already said
spoiler.
spoiler alert.
I already said
so-
spoiler alert.
Okay.
Spoilers
When
still
Ryan Gosling dies, that's when Bradley Cooper takes over the story, and they complain because Ryan Gosling was dead and he was set up as the main character. Things don't have to conform to measures by which people say they have to because that makes them easier to watch. I don't think that movie was easy to watch at all. But that's what made it so interesting to me.
Yeah,
Now I want to watch it again.
I own it.
I own it.
know.
Well,
What?
my roommate owns it, but we have the same apartment, so
Yeah, we should watch it.
I mean, my favorite movie of the year would have been Lone Ranger, clearly.
Best shit ever.
I think it would have been Gravity, but I think the experience in the movie theater is like unmatched. And honestly, I think watching it on a TV, at least from what I've heard from people that have screeners and whatnot, it's a completely different experience not being in the cinematic in the cinema. I'm gonna change that sentence. In the surroundings. But I think Her might have been my favorite movie of the year.
So people have been giving me a shit for like the past couple, and by people I mean females, have been giving me shit for the past couple of weeks. I'm like, oh, have you seen Her? Have you seen 12 Years a Slave? You should see these movies. And like, oh no, I haven't. Have you seen Frozen? And I'm like, no. Who would I go see Frozen with?
Child.
Yeah, like I don't have a kid. I don't have a girlfriend. Like who the fuck would I go see Frozen with? So I was up last night, knew I wasn't going to fall asleep for a couple hours, sitting around, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to watch Frozen. I watched Frozen on my laptop last night. It was really good. It was
That's what I've heard.
really good.
Me too.
I thought it was going to be a lot of different things, and it wasn't. I thought it was great, surprisingly.
I know I have a coworker who I love, and every time we talk about movies, his favorite movie of the year was Gravity. But every time we talk about movies, he just looks at me and he goes, "Have you seen Frozen yet?" Like, no.
I actually recommend it because I loved Tangled. I thought Tangled was really good.
I like Tangled. Yeah.
I think Frozen was just as good. I don't know if I liked it better, but I think it was just as good.
The music is really great.
Oh, there's a lot of music, which is one thing I noted. I don't remember there being that many songs in Tangled. The first like half an hour, 45 minutes almost, is pretty much just singing, and I thought every song was well crafted. Although there is one pun in the song that made me want to kill myself. It was so bad. It was awful. It was atrocious.
What was it?
So it's not really a spoiler. They show it in the trailer. The woman who has like the ice powers, Elsa, she goes off by herself and she says she's living in a kingdom of isolation. And I wanted to shoot myself right there. It was awful.
Good thing you were in public when that happened.
Good.
What?
I said it's a good thing you were in public when that happened.
No, I was sitting in my bed.
Exactly.
Oh.
Else you were just going on a rampage.
Oh.
I like that pun.
I was going to say, just again, about 12 Years a Slave.
Oh, wait, can I say something about Frozen first?
Yes.
Because I had
Thank
to
you.
think because she made an ice pun, so I thought of Mr. Freeze.
Beer!
A freeze is coming to Costa.
Elsa, voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wait, which one is that? Is that Batman and Robin?
Yes. Nice to see you.
God.
Before we get on any further topic, I just wanted to say, because we were talking about it, because there's been this whole thing about like 12 Years a Slave or Gravity, like which one should pull Best Picture. The way I described it to Rosie the other day was Gravity was an experience to have in the movie theater. Like it felt like I was in space with them, like as close as you could possibly get to space. Like it was an amazing experience. But 12 Years a Slave was a life.
Yeah.
Like it was watching the suffering of a man whose life and thousands of people's lives who have been robbed from them.
It was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't really like about that movie was Brad Pitt. I thought he was in it kind of unnecessarily. Obviously, I think he produced it, right?
The character was not unnecessary.
No, the character wasn't. I just think Brad Pitt as that character was completely unnecessary.
I loved him as that character.
I had the same feeling, but I had to think about it a little bit. It's like, who cares if it's Brad Pitt? He did his accent damn well.
Yeah.
And his acting was, he's a good actor. I mean,
Agreed.
Why not Brad Pitt?
Well, here's my justification for why not Brad Pitt. Is because when I see Brad Pitt in a movie, I think, oh, that's Brad Pitt as. I don't think, oh, this is a character. Now when I see Brad Pitt, I see Brad Pitt.
I felt the exact same way about Benedict Cumberbatch in 12 Years a Slave. But because he's such a hot commodity right now, he's such this dashing British actor who plays Sherlock, I was like, oh, that's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Wasn't he in like every other movie this year?
Might as well have been. I mean, he's great.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, the thing is like, that movie had me so invested that by the time Brad Pitt shows up, it didn't take me out of the movie at all. And I know that's my experience being different than yours, but it didn't take me out. I liked it.
It didn't take me out. I just had a spot in the back of my head that was just like, it's Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but I think I've seen him too much. Mm-hmm. Outside of film, like I see him all the time everywhere. I always see Brad Pitt when people are like, "Oh, name a famous actor." Like Brad Pitt jumps to mind. Like everyone always like mentions Brad Pitt. So I always think of him as an actor now. One of the few movies I can watch him in and don't think of him as an actor is Fight Club.
I was just thinking that.
But it's still back there. I always just see Brad Pitt and I'm like, that's Brad Pitt.
I usually think of 12 Monkeys whenever I think of Brad Pitt. That's his most interesting role. If you haven't seen 12 Monkeys,
I haven't.
Go watch it
go
right
watch
now.
it.
What's it about?
It's a good movie.
It's about Bruce Willis plays a guy who goes back in time to try and stop this virus from spreading and killing most of humanity. And it's directed, I don't know if it's written, but it's directed by Terry Gilliam of
my favorite
Monty
director.
Python and the Holy Grail fame. And it's a really weird movie and very surreal and very, very clever.
They're making another Terminator.
I know.
But do you know who's playing Sarah Connor?
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
Ching!
Oh, speaking of Terminator, which I brought up only so I could make this segue. James Cameron announced that he's making a couple more movies, and they're all Avatar.
Yep.
What?
Avatars 2, 3, and 4.
Wait, 4?
Yep.
4.
What?
He's making a quadrilogy out of Avatar.
What a piece of shit. I fucking hate James Cameron.
Whoa there.
No, you want to know why I hate him? He's so disgustingly rich. He saw scientists trying to get to the bottom of the ocean and said, well, I'm going to do that first. And did it. That makes me furious.
Yeah.
He saw a group of people trying to enhance humanity through research. And he was like, nah, I'm going to do it first.
Dude, raise the bar.
Yeah, it was just raised the bar.
He's such a dick.
He
has
is.
So much
and he's
money.
notoriously a dick to his film crews. But the only problem is that he, especially in the 80s, was so good. Mm-hmm. He's directed 2 of my favorite movies of all time, Terminator and Aliens.
And Titanic,
I don't like Titanic that much. I'm going to say it. I think it's a really good film. I just can't watch it anymore. It's way too long. I think it's completely unnecessarily long.
I one time watched Titanic back to back one day on TV. Do you know how long that took? That was 8 hours of my life I'm never going to get back because I watched Titanic
Fucking
twice
3-week-long
in
movie.
a day.
You have to go out for nutrition in the sun before you can continue that movie.
Leonardo DiCaprio is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the movie is great. I'm not
So is
going to
Kate
say...
Winslet.
Yeah,
Throw
no,
that
I'm
out
never
there.
going to say that movie's bad. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it. I just can't watch it anymore. It's way too long. I can't be invested for that long in that movie.
I would be a hypocrite if I said I couldn't because my favorite movies are the Lord of the Rings movies. So
No, but the Lord of the Rings, I feel is different because I can watch a battle scene from the Lord of the Rings over and over and over again, just because I'm a man and, testosterone.
whereas the only action scene in Titanic happens in the car.
Oh, there was some action. It's like,
What do you mean action? What was happening in the car?
They get in a fight in the car in Titanic.
Yeah, but you didn't get to see the choreography.
I know, which is but that's just James Cameron being a shitty director and an asshole.
Yeah.
He wants to take the credit and take it away from his choreographers.
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say the only action in Titanic is when the iceberg attacked. And
Attack of the
it
Iceberg.
attacked the boat.
Titanic 2, this time it's personal.
There's a movie called Titanic 2.
I know.
It's it's some vanity project by some like douchey blonde guy, and he cast himself as the leading role, and it's all about this is the boat, the Titanic 2, and everything is green screened, and it's really funny.
How the fuck did he get the rights for that?
Who knows? Because he's a millionaire for some reason.
Oh,
I think I could watch Titanic just to see the guy at the end fall and hit the little like steam stack. I don't know what they're called on that ship.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where it falls on Fabrizio.
What? No. At the very end, the ship like splits in half. And you see the guy fall all the way down, and he just hits one of the like pillars that comes off, letting
and
out like the
propels
steam.
off, yeah.
Yeah, that.
And he hits it and just spins off like.
Yeah, some of the deaths in that movie are fucked up. And they're all rich white people.
Yeah, good. If anyone is a minority listening to this, just watch that and laugh at all the rich white people.
Watch the last hour of Titanic on repeat.
Just touch yourself.
Oh, hey,
white people are
women
dying.
and children first. And Billy Zane.
Well, yeah, of course, because he got the money.
God damn it.
No, that,
He is the man in Monopoly.
Ooh, Billy Zane? Billy Zane's Monopoly?
that would be the greatest game design in the history of board games.
I want to make a Monopoly movie.
With Belly Zane as the Monopoly man.
Monopoly man?
Is he even still alive? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just going to bookend this podcast with talking about celebrity death. It's horrible.
Whoa, Billy Zane's not dead.
I know, but it's still asking like, is he dead?
Oh.
We'll just fish around until we can find more celebrities to talk about who died recently.
We could talk about...
No.
No,
No.
we're not going to do that. It's no good.
All right.
I think that does it for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Traveling Milk Podcast. If you do follow us on Facebook or YouTube, we will be releasing a Kickstarter soon to fund our projects as well as the projects for Ripple Road Productions. So check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Traveling Milk Productions or facebook.com/Traveling Milk Productions.
Or Tumblr.
Or Twitter.
Or Tumblr or Twitter, yeah.
We're struggling with social media devices at this time. So.
I'm in charge of that, and I don't use Twitter. That's my goddamn fault.
What do I pay you for?
You don't pay me. No one pays us.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Someday.
James Cameron and Billy Zane, I'm so sorry if they hurt your feelings if you're listening. True talent emanates from you both. We miss you, Billy. Come home.
You suck. Fuck, get the fuck out.
Well, see you guys later. I'm Alex.
I'm Jameson.
I'm Rosie.
Thank you so much for listening. Good night.